Hi, welcome to Raised Armory. Today we're going to be doing a video on how to set dies. I'm going to show you how Hornady recommends you do it and kind of how I do it. I'm not going to use the where it's supposed to be so I can show you how to set it. First, you're going to put your lock-in low bushing on there. I'm going to set it in there. And kind of turn it down. And as you can see, it's kind of flush almost with the bottom. That's how I get mine. I get it flush. And you want to make sure that locking washer's all the way up. You're going to run your press all the way down. And then the way Hornady tells you to do it is run your die until it touches that bottom plate right there. Once it makes contact, go ahead and lock it down. And then you can drop your press back down. Once you're done, you're going to run your decapping die pin all the way down. They say 3/4 of a way out. So about right there. You go ahead and lock that down. So now you've got that down. Go ahead and lock your washer down. Get your little Allen wrench and tighten it down right there. Sorry about the light. Tighten that little Allen wrench down right there. And from now on, your depriming resizing die is done. Now, this is the bullet seating die. It's for 300 blackout. Now, I'm going to show you how to do 2 bullets. This one is 150 grain, 30 caliber. As you can see here, it's got this little groove pattern on here. This one doesn't. This is 225 grain for subsonics. This is what it looks like in a bullet. This is the way it should sit. I have used my gauge and actually set it to the data that Hornady has in their data book. This is the 150 grain. As you can see, I have it kind of in the middle right there on that line. It's either, you can either have it at the bottom, the middle, or the top. I wouldn't go any higher than the very top of it, that little where the grooves end right there. So I'm going to put this in. It is empty. It's not primed or anything. It's just an empty case. I'll pull it out when I'm done. Alright. Let's see if I can set this right here. See what I'm doing. Sorry about the camera movements. Alright. When it comes up, you're going to set it in there. And you're going to run it up. All the way. Now, mine is already set. As you can see, it gives it a nice little grim around there. Now, if it's too low on the case, basically what you do is you just turn it right here, and it seats this down a little bit lower. But make sure the bottom is flush with that. See, when I run it all the way up, it's not touching the bottom of the shell plate. So just run it even with your bushing or a little bit out of your bushing right here. See, it's a little bit further than the flat with the bushing. And basically all you do is adjust it until you get it to where you want it in here. If you want it at the very bottom of the lines, that's fine. If you want it in the middle or the top, you just adjust this until you get it to where you want it. If you're doing one like this for subsonics, basically you're going to have to get your calipers out. You sit it in there, then you put your calipers on it. It's not in there far enough, drop it down some more. Hit it again until it comes out to where Hornady, the case overall length, says it should be plus or minus. So that's what you're going to do. Next, the powder cock. Alright, I've loaded 9.3 grains of CFE pistol just for this. Prime the case. This is a 300 blackout case. And we're actually going to put this powder into here. I'm not going to put a bullet on it. I'm just doing this to show you how to set the powder cop. Now, you do not do this for 223 cases, just pistol and largemouth cases. You put it in there and you bring your powder cop all the way out and you run it down. Put this little thing down, little die down, you run it down. Actually, they say to run it all the way up. Run it to the very top. Now, when you run your case up, it's going to rise up. And you lock it up. Basically what you're seeing is you're going to see that. So you're going to run it down to the next one, which is going to be this one right here. Hold on a second. So run it down to the second one. Now, there's another way you can do it that Hornady recommends. Use this way for a pistol. Hold on a second, let me reset the die. You're going to pull it out and pull the little washer off here. You're going to drop it out, pull it out, and you're going to insert it this way, which means you're going to put the little washer on it, this end. This is actually the way Hornady recommends you use for rifle, because this end is kind of wider. As you can see, profile here, it's wider. So this is meant for pistol end. This is meant for rifle. This is actually the way you're supposed to do it. So you set it in there, lock it in, and move the case. Don't want to go in. It's kind of hard to do one hand. You bring it up. And it's supposed to sit like that. Apparently I don't have enough powder in there. And if you see this, where it's not below, where it's below like that, that indicates you have an undercharge of powder. What you should see is this, where it's barely sticking out. That indicates you have the right amount of charge. It should be flush right there with it. If you see it to where it's sticking out like this or over, you have an overcharge or a double charge of powder. For me, apparently I've got an undercharge. For subsonics, that is correct. When I do for subsonics, I actually measure each powder and pour it in there just like I did with this one. This powder does not go for this cartridge, even though you use a pistol powder for subsonic 300 blackout. I use Winchester 296 pistol powder for subsonics. That's how you use that. Setting the powder charge is a little bit different. This is set up for rifle right now, for 300 blackout to be specific. Setting that in there, basically in the bottom of it, you need to get the right hole that fits in there. That is for 300 blackout. So basically when the rifle cartridge goes up in there, it pushes it, everything actuates, and it dumps the right charge in there. To do that, you'll dump a charge, set it on your scale, measure it. Okay, it's too high. You're going to turn this knob out. You can turn it out so it drops more powder in there. You run that charge, dump it back in the top. Run it again, dump it back in the top. The reason you do that is to make sure that this has the right charge in it. So you run a charge, measure it again. And you keep either turning the knob in or turning the knob out until you get the right amount of powder that your data book tells you to use. Once you get it in there, this little ring right here, hopefully you can see it. Sorry for the light. This little ring right here, right where the washer's at, you'll lock that down. Mine's already locked down. I've got it set for 300 blackout right now. I also have another one over there that's set for 45. I've got one set for 9mm. Those are how you set regular dies. For me, I have a seating die, but it's only for 300 blackout. And the reason I only have it for 300 blackout and not 223 or any of the 308s or anything else that I reload is because I have the rifle seating die and crimping die for this machine. So 300 blackout is the only one I load because the cartridge for it, for 300 blackout, does not actuate the case feeder for that. So that is how you set it up. If you have any questions or comments, please mark them down below. If there's any other videos or anything you would know about reloading, please let me know. I'd be happy to make a video if it's available and if I have the stuff to make it. So if you have any questions about reloading or how to set up a die on the progressive press, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer it. Like I said, I deprime my own brass, and I don't use this. Most of the time I do not have my depriming pin in there. I just use it for resizing because I have a hand deprimer that I use. It's a lot quicker, and I can sit in the TV, watch TV in the house without the wife yelling at me. So I can do, you know, a whole box of brass really quick, and I use this for 300 blackout only. Everything else I have the case feeder for. So putting bullets in for either 45, 9mm is the same way of setting this one up. You just got to go get your calipers out like these, measure it to what the data says in the book. You'll see the case overall length for 300 blackout is 2.260. That's from the back down here to the tip. You measure that. Okay, it's within 1 or 2 hundredths. That's good. So once you got that, you're good. You can go to the next one. So again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below.